Metal Jesus, and I'm back again with the immortal John Hancock.
Hey, good seeing you again.
And he has brought a bunch of hidden gems for the Super Nintendo. This is part 2. If you guys missed out on part 1, go back. It'll be in the description below and up and down and everywhere else. But you pulled out 8 more games that are kind of hidden gems.
Yeah, like I said, I chose some additional games as like people don't think about when collecting Super Nintendo. And I think people need to remember that Super Nintendo is not just for kiddies.
That's right. And you are, like I mentioned in the other video, you are uniquely qualified. You have a pretty big collection there, buddy.
Got a couple Super Nintendo games.
How many do you have now?
650-ish.
And for a complete US collection?
700 plus.
Wow. So many great games. All right. Well, let's get to it.
All right.
All right, dude. You got so many great games here.
Yep.
Let's dig into it.
All right. First one. Obscure arcade game.
What's it called?
Ninja Warriors.
Ninja Warriors.
So you know if it has ninja in it, it's going to be at least half awesome. Well, this game is all awesome. And it's an obscure arcade game update.
Oh, okay, so it's by Tato.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's fantastic. So it's a side-scrolling ninja action game. Awesome.
Wow, okay.
Kind of a ninja brawler, one player.
Did it come out on anything other than the Super Nintendo?
Arcade, and I think a couple obscure computer ports.
Okay, but not like Genesis or anything?
No, unfortunately not. Next one. I love myself some brawlers.
Uh-huh.
This is a brawler, and this is Pirates of Darkwater. So it's an obscure cartoon that had not one but 2 games made for it. One for Sega Genesis and one for Super Nintendo.
The Pirates of Darkwater.
Yes.
Huh.
Great cartoon, great game. The Genesis and Super Nintendo games are completely different. This one I think is a little bit better because it plays more like Final Fight. It's more of a brawler. It's 2-player. It's rad. Awesome. Go get it.
Wow, okay.
Next one. You like Metal Slug? Do you like violence?
Ooh, I love Metal Slug.
Do you like Donkey Kong graphics?
Yeah. Oh, okay, so like CGI, pre-rendered.
Yeah. CGI, pre-rendered, plays like Metal Slug, kind of violent, and it's Mutant Chronicles Doom Troopers.
Doom Trooper. I think there was like a heavy metal song, Troops of Doom. That's what I'm thinking of.
And they made a Sega Genesis version, and this is a Super Nintendo one. And a lot of people are like, what the heck is that? Go buy it. It's good.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I love the title.
All right.
I like this game. I know some people are like, I don't know. I think this game's awesome.
No, this game's awesome. And it's nice thing is it's fairly inexpensive.
Uniracers.
Yep.
Yeah.
2-player kind of racing game. Kind of take like the 2-player race from Sonic 2, I do believe, when you're like Sonic and Tails. And it's kind of like a speed game. So you're on a unicycle and you do these crazy tracks.
Yeah, with tricks and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting. So.
Yeah, really good. 2-player fun, fantastic, and inexpensive.
Yeah, definitely.
This game is on the list because a lot of people think of Pac-Man and think of the arcade game.
Yeah, totally.
This is not the arcade game.
Pac-Attack.
So in the Tetris craze, there was a ton of games trying to be like Tetris. And while this didn't catch on necessarily, it's a very, very, very good puzzle game using Pac-Man as an icon. And it's kind of plays similar to Tetris, but you stack blocks, try to make rows, they disappear. 2-player action, fun, and like I said, kind of obscure.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
Pac-Attack, good stuff. If you like cutesy and you like shooters,
shooter. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's an overhead kind of action shooter, 2-player fun. Pocky Rocky 2. Now, Pocky Rocky 1 is obscure. It's like, what the heck? They made a sequel? Well, they must have sold 10 copies because they made a sequel, and here it is. This game's expensive, and like I said, it's very collectible and very uncommon. Like I said, it's a game. It's hard to explain, but it's very Japanese. It's very cutesy. It's a cute 'em up, as some people say. Instead of a shoot 'em up, it's a cute 'em up.
Now, did that come out on any other systems?
No.
So, okay.
Yeah, exclusive.
Wow.
Yep, good stuff.
Awesome.
A lot of platformers on the Super Nintendo were either you're like a jelly bean or some cute farm animal, this is neither of them. This is Musya, the classic Japanese tale of horror.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, and that rolls off your tongue, and I'm sure it sold at least 11 copies.
Wait, say that again.
Musya, the classic Japanese tale of horror.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna mess it up, but yeah, it's a great platformer, definitely very Japanese. I would definitely say if it's the type of game that I would play now, not necessarily a game I grew up remembering. This is probably at a rental store when I was a kid and I said, I'm not going to get that. And now it's the game that's like, oh, I want to play something like that.
Yeah. Huh. Well, hidden gem. That's cool.
Yep. Okay, so I'm a huge Factor 5 fan. And Factor 5 did a lot of amazing Star Wars games.
Oh, yeah.
Factor
Rogue
5.
Squadron, too. Yep. One of the best.
They also did a couple Turrican games, and this is Super Turrican 2. And Super Turrican 2 is pretty obscure. The first Turrican game on the Super Nintendo is more common, but the second one came out and it barely was released. And this one has better graphics, amazing gameplay, and hardly anybody bought it because it came out late.
Now, I have to ask too, did this come out on any other systems, or is it like on Amiga or something like that?
No, I do believe Super Turrican 2 is an exclusive to Super Nintendo.
Wow, cool.
They made several other Turrican games on other systems, but I think Super Turrican 2 is specific to Super Nintendo hardware, using a bunch of like Mode 7 graphics and scaling and stuff.
Because it came out so late in its life, it was able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game, really obscure. I'm a huge fan of Factor 5. Please remake the Rogue Squadron games.
Yeah, I know, totally, right?
But yeah, this is a fantastic pick. It is really expensive, but I totally recommend it.
Cool. All right, well, that's a quick look at some of your hidden gems, but you know what? I don't know that much about the Super Nintendo, and I'm kind of curious. On the hardware side, is there some collectible stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought there might be.
Yeah, there's not as much as some other Nintendo or N64, but here's what I've picked.
Okay.
Even though I got this at a rental store, and
it's Bomberman.
It's Bomberman Party Pack. Huh. So this is it's Bomberman, but it was cool because it came with this very cool multi-tap with the game. And the cool thing about the multi-tap is that now you can beat up 3 other people. Huh. And like I said, it was a multi-tap package in with the game system, so you could have more people play the game at once.
Okay, so yeah, that's right, because you could only play 2-player unless you had some sort of multi-tap.
Yeah, and so the multi-tap, I do believe, 1 to 4 players now can play this and have a lot of fun.
Was there any other game that supported that multi-tap?
I do believe Super Bomberman 2.
Okay.
And that's why the one I got actually came with number 2, but it definitely I do believe some other games supported it, not that I know of.
Yeah, probably not many, because who knows how many of these they sold. Yeah,
I think NBA Jam and a couple other cool. Like a 4-player adapter stuff.
And then you have this lethal enforcer gun, and that looks like a real gun.
Yes, the gun was called the Justifier, and this came with the game and the gun. And fantastic. I mean, this is a classic arcade game, and a lot of Super Nintendo games were censored, so this is kind of cool that they had a nice, real-looking gun. Come with it, and the gun's nice and blue. It's like a bright blue. Huh. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool, dude. And we're kind of curious. I mean, is there other hardware out there that you guys like to collect? Some of your favorites? Some of the more weird or interesting Super Nintendo hardware.
Yep.
All right, man. So we're gonna do part 3 here pretty soon. Part 3, because he's got way more games. All right, as always, I want to thank you for subscribing to my channel and watching my videos. Thanks, John, for coming on.
Anytime.
Appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
Okay, hold the breath.
Little THO action.